Please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. You think you know the people who share your blood. You think love is enough to bridge the gap between step and real. I did. I thought I had married into a family that would embrace my daughter as their own. I thought time, kindness, and patience would make her feel safe, included, loved. But on the coldest Saturday of the year, my illusion shattered. My daughter, just 9 years old, called me from the back pantry, her voice trembling. "Mom," they said I had to scrub the kitchen while they went to the amusement park with Alyssa. They didn't take me. They left me here. I froze. My heart cracked. And in that moment, I realized, this wasn't a misunderstanding. This was war. You never forget the first time your child looks at you with a kind of broken hope. It was Alyssa's birthday, my husband's biological granddaughter, and we were all at his parents' house. The air smelled like cinnamon and money, and the entire backyard was strung with pink and gold balloons. But none of it was for my daughter, Lonnie. Lonnie stood in the corner, her hands clasped tightly around the single gift she had bought with her allowance, a bracelet she made for Alyssa out of string and beads. She was so proud. So gentle when she handed it over. And yet, Alyssa barely looked at it before tossing it aside like a gum wrapper. Everyone laughed it off. "Kids," they said. "She's just high-spirited." But I saw Lonnie's eyes. I saw the way they scanned the crowd for someone, anyone, to say it was wrong. No one did. Not her step-grandmother. Not my husband. Not even me. That night, Lonnie didn't eat cake. She didn't dance. She asked if we could go home early. I should have seen it then. I should have pulled her out of that house and never looked back. But I wanted to believe they'd grow to love her. That family wasn't built on blood, it was built on heart. I was wrong. Because 2 weeks later, I got the call that changed everything. The call came on a Wednesday afternoon. I was rushing between meetings, my phone on silent, when Lonnie's school called me 3 times in a row. I finally picked up on the 4th ring, my heart pounding. "Mrs. Harris, this is Miss Langston, the school counselor." Lonnie came in today, upset. She said something happened at her grandparents' house over the weekend. She asked us if it was wrong to be called the charity child. I sat down hard. Charity child. I picked Lonnie up early that day. She barely looked at me when she got in the car. Her backpack looked heavier than usual, not in weight, but in burden. I didn't push her. Not yet. We got home, and I made her favorite, spaghetti with garlic bread and chocolate milk, just to let her know she was safe. After dinner, she finally looked at me with those big, wounded eyes. "Mommy, can I play you something?" She pulled out an old pink iPod we had found at a garage sale months ago. I hadn't even realized it worked. But Lonnie, my clever girl, had been using it to record voice memos, secretly. She hit play. At first, all I heard were clinking dishes and faint footsteps. Then a voice. It was my husband's mother, Lonnie's step-grandmother. "Don't leave that there, girl. Scrub under the fridge. You're not here to be spoiled like Alyssa. You're lucky we even let you in the house." Another voice, Alyssa's, giggling. "She's not really part of the family, Grandma. Daddy says her mom just married Uncle Jace for money." I couldn't breathe. Then came my husband's voice. Calm. Unbothered. "She's not mine. You don't owe her anything. Just keep her busy so she doesn't get in the way today." My fingers curled into fists. He said that. He let them say that. I looked at Lonnie. Her face was pale, her lip trembling. Is that why you were scrubbing the floor when they went to the park? I asked, barely able to get the words out. She nodded. I didn't want you to think I was bad, so I cleaned and waited. I wanted to scream. Instead, I held her close and promised her something. They will never make you feel like this again. I swear on everything, baby girl, we're done being quiet. The next Saturday, I dressed Lonnie in her soft yellow dress, the one she picked herself for Easter but never got to wear because, they said, pastels clashed with Alyssa's outfit. I brushed her hair into a neat bun, tied it with a white ribbon, and gave her a single instruction. Whatever happens, baby, stand tall. You've done nothing wrong. We pulled up to the Harris estate, his parents' house, the same one where my daughter was made to scrub floors like Cinderella while they paraded their real granddaughter around in matching outfits and pearls. They were all there. Jace, my husband, stood by the grill, flipping steaks like everything was normal. His mother sat under the shade umbrella with Alyssa in her lap, fussing over her curls. Lonnie gripped my hand tighter as we walked up the steps. Oh, look who finally decided to show up, his mother said, fake smile plastered on her face. We saved you some coleslaw. I looked her dead in the eye. I didn't come for coleslaw. Jace's head snapped up. Babe, can we not do this here? I reached into my purse, pulled out the iPod, and pressed play. Their words crackled through the speakers, loud and undeniable. Every sentence. Every cruel, careless laugh. The silence that followed was deafening. Jace's father coughed. Now hold on. No, I said, my voice sharp. Don't say a word. Lonnie clung to my side, eyes wide. You let my child scrub your floors like a maid. You humiliated her. You made her question her worth, her place in this family. I turned to Jace now, stood there and said she wasn't yours. After all the bedtime stories, the school runs, the tears she wiped for you, and you called her nothing. Wait, Jace stammered, I didn't mean it like that. But you said it, I snapped. On record. And worse, you let her believe it. His mother folded her arms. So what, you're going to cause a scene over a few words? You know how children exaggerate. My hand trembled, but I didn't back down. I was raised by a single mother who scrubbed office buildings at midnight and still packed my lunch at dawn. I will not let you reduce my daughter to a charity case. Not after everything I've built, not after everything she's survived. The guests had gone quiet. Even the children had stopped playing. I knelt next to Lonnie and looked into her eyes. You are not invisible. You are not disposable. And you are not anyone's mistake. I stood back up, straightened my shoulders, and looked around. Jace, you have 48 hours to collect your things from my home. After that, your access to my daughter ends until a court says otherwise. Wait, you're serious, he choked. You'd throw this away over. I held up the iPod again. Over this? Absolutely. As I walked away with Lonnie, the wind picked up, lifting the ribbon in her hair. She looked up at me and whispered. I didn't think you'd believe me. I squeezed her hand. I didn't just believe you, baby. I heard you. And now they did too. 3 weeks had passed since I walked away from that twisted family brunch. Jace moved his things out without a word. No apology. No tears. Just silence, the kind that rots in your ears after betrayal. I thought that would be the end of it. But it wasn't. Because sometimes, silence is just the calm before the real storm. It started with a phone call from a number I didn't recognize. "Mrs. Harris," the voice said. "Yes. This is Alan Brookstone. I'm the estate attorney for Margaret Harris, your husband's grandmother." I blinked. I'm sorry, she passed away years ago." "That's correct. But her will, updated a year before her death, just cleared probate. She left something, for your daughter. Lonnie." I sat up straighter. "What do you mean?" "She left a trust. A large one. College, housing, inheritance. She named Lonnie specifically as the beneficiary." My throat tightened. "But she barely met Lonnie." "She only met her once," he confirmed. "But she was a woman of intuition. She wrote in the will, that girl has more light in her eyes than any of the rest. Take care of her." I thanked him, heart pounding. When I got off the phone, I stared at the wall for a long moment. Someone had seen my daughter. Really seen her. And not just anyone, the matriarch. The one whose legacy they all clung to like gold. That's when I knew I had more work to do. A few days later, I met with a lawyer of my own. I filed for separation and full custody. I submitted the voice recording as evidence. I listed every instance of emotional neglect, every time Lonnie was excluded, insulted, and used. Jace tried to stall. His lawyer called mine with veiled threats. Until the video surfaced. Oh yes, I hadn't planned to release it. But Alyssa, bless her entitled little heart, had been live-streaming that family brunch to her followers. The moment the iPod recording played, the gasps, the looks, the cold hard truth, was captured and uploaded. It went viral. Suddenly, I was being hailed as the mom who stood up for her daughter. News outlets wanted interviews. Parenting blogs reposted the clip with hashtags like #MamaBearJustice and #BelieveYourChild. The Harris name, so carefully protected and polished, began to crack. And Jace? He came crawling back. With tears this time. With apologies. With excuses. "Let's fix this," he said, standing in my doorway in the rain like a man from a cheap movie. I stepped outside. Calm. Unshaken. "You know what the saddest part is?" I asked. "Lonnie still asks about you. Still wonders if maybe you didn't mean it. You broke her heart, and she's still willing to hand you a piece of it." His face crumbled. "Tell her I'm sorry." "No," I said, turning away. "You'll tell her in court. Maybe. If the judge lets you." And I closed the door. Not just on him, but on the guilt. The silence. The lies. Lonnie is 10 now. She's in a new school, thriving. She makes friends easily, paints pictures that hang on my office wall, and still wears ribbons in her hair, by choice now, not because someone told her to. She's learning piano. She's learning power. As for me, I started writing again. This story? I'm telling it because someone out there needs to hear it. Maybe you. Maybe someone who thinks staying silent protects the peace. It doesn't. Silence only protects the people who break you. If my daughter taught me anything, it's this. You don't have to be loud to be heard. You just have to believe your truth is worth telling. And now? We walk in rooms with our heads held high. Because once upon a time, they left my 9-year-old scrubbing floors while their real granddaughter rode ponies and smiled for pictures. But now? She's the one they all remember.